Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Retro Gamers Podcast. Again, number 230. Larry here.
And Anthony here.
And what's going on? Anything new you haven't told me yet?
No, I am here. I am focused. I am in focus, and I have clarity.
Good. Clarity Claritin. Sponsored by Claritin. Very good. I'm back. I'm back in the New York groove, in my apartment. So nice.
That was quite the journey.
It was like a 10-minute drive.
It felt like Lord of the Rings to me.
It did. If only. If I would have thrown the Lord Baradon into the fire pits.
Boromir?
I don't. Never read the books, and I saw the movies once. Loved them.
Then watch them again.
They're like 9 hours long.
11.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was close.
With the extended editions. The theatrical ones don't exist.
With added footage.
All the footage.
Oh, yikes. Are the Hobbit movies like that too?
They
did they not care? They didn't put that much effort.
I think they did release extended editions, but to be honest with you, the theatrical ones weren't even that good. So sorry.
Boo. But yes, no, I'm back home and feels good to be home. I got my arcade machine back. And,
very nice.
Actually got some new while I was away. I actually was still able to pick up some stuff because, Game On is still the same distance.
Well, Larry, nothing surprises me in terms of shopping since you buy stuff every week.
Look, someone's got to support the part of the podcast where we have the personal interaction, and you can see my slow decline in the best interest of the banks, though.
You're not the only one who goes shopping. I bought a game.
Did you?
I did.
What'd you buy?
No. You go first.
Oh, okay, fine. So I was out at Game On, and of course, as we documented a couple weeks ago, no longer getting the Poly Mega, so now I have to invest even more money into my collection. So I got
by the way.
Oh, please don't. No, don't even say, look what I got.
No, but I've shared your story with several of my video game friends.
Okay.
And every single one of them said the same thing. What's wrong with him?
First of all, they should have already known the story because they're listening to the podcast.
Yeah, no. Don't expect that much. Although one of them did say he's an episode behind, and I said, wait till you listen to last week's episode. So.
There we go.
And then and that was followed by, why did he do that?
But then there's other people out there, I'm sure, who are praising me, even though I didn't do it for this reason.
Oh, of course.
The fact that the systems I am getting are not emulated.
No. I will give you credit for actually going out now and buying the original systems, because again, as you can see behind me, but look, as you can see behind me.
Of course, I would love, trust me, I'd love that.
Yeah. I have them all. I'm like, but on top of that, I'm also getting the Poly Mega. So.
Trust me, I would have as well. But in any event, because I'm not getting the Poly Mega, I don't have access to a Saturn. So for the first time in my life, I have purchased a Sega Saturn.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I got the Hyperkin HDMI wire that works like a charm.
Beautiful. I gotta get one of those.
Get one for every system. I'm telling you that they work. They're awesome.
Okay.
Even got the Xbox one. Even when I got the new TV, the Xbox one started working. So
that's cool.
Go. Like the original Xbox.
Yep. So is it time? Is it time for Shining Force 3?
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there in a moment. I just want to say this. A couple weeks ago, I bought the Dreamcast.
Right.
And had no games.
Yes.
I would like to thank our friend Frank Messina of the Better Half podcast, though. He still has some of his Dreamcast games.
Oh, nice.
So he loaned me a couple of them. Namco Museum, Spec Ops. Oh, there he is again. He's back for his nap.
Yeah.
Just slings it right over your shoulder like nothing.
And then he just stays.
He basically, you guys head up a little bit, but he's going to go to sleep. No, he's going to bite you.
No. He's just chilling. He's purring. He's purring.
So I borrowed 3 games from Frank, and it's pretty funny, and he even called it out himself. So I borrowed, because we were recording, I borrowed the games, and he hasn't played them in a long time. So they're a little dirty and dusty, the jewel cases.
Just a tad?
Which is fine. I don't care. Whatever. When I get home, I get a text, and he's like, sorry about the dirtiness of the jewel cases. I'm like, don't worry, I'll get you new ones. So I posted the Dreamcast, and that was fine. But then when I posted the Saturn, and all I did was just took a picture, like, hey, look what I got. That one took off with a lot of our followers on our social media pages, Retro Gamers Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. To the point where it almost seems like this system that for the mass market didn't do so well.
Right.
But for collectors, a few people are saying it's their favorite system of all.
Yeah, because you know what it is? There are a lot of really good games on the Saturn that people never played. So.
I mean, I can only think, and again, this is no knock on the system. It's just I never put time into looking into it. I never had it, so I never thought about the games. I can only think of, Nights into Dreams, supposed to be really good on it.
Yeah.
Of course, Shining Force 3, which I do
Shining
have.
Force 3, Tomb Raider.
That's true, Tomb Raider, yeah.
Tomb Raider was on there. I think was Daytona on there? There was the racing games on there were very well known.
Okay. Well, that's sad. I mean, that's Sega for you. That's just a Sega thing. But it was really interesting to see how, and I just want to give a couple
Panzer Dragoon Saga. Also
that's right. And that just got re-released too on current systems.
Yeah, you probably would want to buy it on the current system because on the Saturn, I think it runs a few $1,000s.
Ooh, maybe I can afford that.
I don't think so.
Well, technically I can. I just had to take a long time to pay it off.
Okay,
so I just want to give a couple of. Oh, he's done. Oh, look at him. I'll set fire to the house.
Coming soon.
I do want to give a couple of shout outs here. First of all, and these were from Instagram. At Mike Castoro, I apologize for mispronouncing your name, Mike.Castoro, Castoro _ because I was like, hey, anyone got any recommendation for games? And he's like, what genre? And I'm like, any of them. And he gave me a list of everything.
Nice.
He's talking Virtua Fighter 2.
Oh, Virtua Fighter 2, I love.
Battle Arena Toshinden. Let's see what I do. Panzer Dragoon, like you mentioned. Tomb Raider, like you mentioned. Clockwork Knight is apparently a great platformer. And Virtual On. I forgot about Virtual On.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So he definitely has some good stuff to say. And also I want to throw out who I believe actually gave a shout out to us for our 200th. Aaron Elfstrom, CBM _ gaming.
Yes.
He's the one that was like, the Saturn is my favorite system.
That's awesome.
And we've been talking back and forth. Some of the mods that he does for the Saturn, some of his other systems are phenomenal. Give him a follow as well, CBM _ gaming. He mentions almost any Capcom fighter, it seems like. And then he gets, and I love it, like he gets really deep into it. You know, he's like, well, the optical drive emulator, mode, Sanus, like he's like getting like deep diving into like terminology. And I'm just like, okay, Capcom fighters, thank you.
That works.
But he did give a recommendation to this, which I'll show you, and I did pick it up. It's fairly inexpensive. It's on Amazon. It's this thing called Action Replay 4M Plus. I think I have that on the camera. Yeah.
Yep. See that?
Basically, it's a ROM cart because there's a slot in the back of the Saturn. So what this does, it's a memory card, first of all, which I heard you definitely want one of these because the Saturn will save locally, but apparently once that battery dies inside of it, you lose everything. This you won't because it's not battery backup. Of
course.
So well worth it for that alone. But on top of that, it revs up the RAM, kind of like on the N64 when you had to replace the RAM cart in the front of the system for some games.
Right.
Some games you need to do that with this.
Got it.
But what this also does, it acts as like a game genie. And you can play Japanese games on the Saturn without doing any modifications.
Oh, nice. I have quite a few Japanese Saturn games.
Yep. And of course, like the one that I have, not all of them work. And of course, the one I have, X-Men versus Street Fighter, doesn't really work with this.
Fair.
But I might try one of the Shining Force ones that
just
you got me from Japan, just to see if it works. So, but if you have a Saturn, definitely pick this up. I highly recommend it.
Okay. So
it's not too bad at all. So I'm looking forward to playing with the Saturn. And I'll leave this as well with the Saturn. One of the we've discussed our things about emulations and everything like that. Is what it is. But I will say it's pretty interesting to see with the Dreamcast as well and the Saturn and PS1s. People have been modding them where you can run the games off of a flash card, a mini SD card.
Mm-hmm.
But what they do is they basically take the laser out of the game system and replace that with this module that you just put the mini SD card into.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of cool to see it like that. It was weird.
Interesting.
So that's that on the Saturn.
So I assume Game On's going to be getting a lot more of your money because you're going to buy a bunch of Saturn games.
I've been looking at Saturn games, and the ones that they've been getting in, they're mostly like sports and stuff, and I'm not really into those. So it's weird. I bought the system, and I'm trying to find games I'm interested in. But they have like Sonic 3D Blast I may pick up. And if I can find Knights for a reasonable price, I'll pick that up. So it's going to be a system that's more for the collection, not necessarily going to have a large amount of games for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if people are making homebrew games for the Dreamcast, maybe we'll start seeing them on the Saturn.
Okay.
So we'll see. And yes, I want to start Shining Force 3 very soon.
Cool.
So maybe we can
I
do
should
something.
start. As I say, maybe I can start Shining Force 3 really soon too, since I have it.
Maybe. Are you talking about some sort of new competition?
Well, we should probably. I mean, it would bleed into our old competition that we've left to die a terrible death,
which in itself is bleeding out profusely.
Yeah, it really is. It's like I'm ready to send it to the glue factory.
That's such an old reference.
Because I'm old.
You and me both. That's why I got it.
Yes.
It's been difficult. Yes, our completion contest, but now that I have a Saturn, I have a Dreamcast. I'm getting an analog NES and SNES is now coming Tuesday. It's definitely like shipped somewhere in Kansas right now. So once I get these systems, I'm itching to play these games. Trust me when I tell you, because it's weird. It's like it's one thing. Like to have like the NES online library on the Switch, but at the same time to physically be able to now put the card in. As much as I'm always about digital for new stuff, I'm getting that itch for the old stuff and to play off the physical mediums.
Well, I told you that a long time ago and you didn't listen to me.
No, I didn't listen to you about the new stuff.
So thank you for catching up.
No, about the new stuff.
But what's going to happen like 10 years from now? When you want the physical new stuff.
Well, this would be a dead medium.
That's very true. But then it'll be worth even more.
That's true. Speaking of which, I want to show one more thing here, then we can move on. So I actually ordered 3 things from Analog.
Of course you did.
Which finally they shipped.
You never order one.
Well, no. Well, the 2 systems went up, so I had to get those. And in preparation of when they finally re-release or they put out another stock of their Genesis systems, I went and purchased their adapters, Genesis adapters for the Game Gear. The cards. Remember the old Master System card games?
Yes.
And this is for the SG-1000, the system, the Mark III.
That's awesome.
I've never even seen a Mark III game sold, but that's part of the unit
Start
here.
Looking for them.
So it's these 3. The Genesis itself will come with an adapter to play Master System games, period, but not the card games. But look at, just the way it gets shipped, a nice box, and
it's very nice.
It's old, interior ain't coming out and stuff. So they're high quality. Like I said, Analog's Ferrari. So
it'll look good collecting dust on your shelf.
How dare you, sir? I will be playing these. Well, not the Mark III games. I can't find any.
Right.
But beyond that.
Oh, you can find them. I'm sure Super Potato on eBay has some.
Yes. Actually, I got to start checking those. I know they just put up some new stuff. Have you been looking?
I have not. I've been busy.
You know what? Good for you, actually. You're probably better off holding off on Super Potato Online.
Yeah, no, that's my danger right there. But no, I've been a little bit busy. Life has been kind of crazy over here. So so my gaming life has definitely kind of slowed down a bit.
That's what listeners of a video game podcast want to hear.
No, it's not that I'm not playing.
No,
It's just that I'm
I
not
know.
playing as much. That's all.
I get it. Trust me.
Yeah.
I understand. So
I blame my cats.
you should. That one, I'm telling you, he's gonna set the world on fire. Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Well, you know what? I'm one of them.
What? Me too, kind of. All right, let's bring this back up, shall we?
Moving on.
Let's talk about some fun stuff.
Let's talk about the one game I purchased, since I never talk about games that I
Yes.
purchased.
What did you buy finally?
I bought a there's a sale going on, and again, it's not a retro game though. There's a sale going on. It may be over by the time this podcast drops, so I apologize if it does. There's a Golden Week sale going on PlayStation, and Golden Week is an annual celebration in Asia. Japan and China celebrated it, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely Japan, because I've been there for Golden Week.
Oh, okay.
Which is really cool. So they have a lot of games on sale. A lot of them are more Japanese based.
Okay.
So I picked up, there's a game that my friend introduced me to that I thought was really fun. And I was like, okay, this is kind of a cool little game to pick up and play every once in a while. And it is called Taiko no Tatsujin.
Ah, yes. Fully aware. Translates to
Drum and Fun.
Oh.
So it's a drumming, it's a music game based on drumming. So
interesting.
So, and it's almost like a little, and just basically like, you know, the song plays, and then when the notes hit the right spot, you press a button on your controller and you make the drum sound.
Oh.
And it's surprisingly fun. It's kind of, you know, it's kind of like frequency, but it can also be like, if you think about Rock Band and things like that, it's kind of like that just for drumming. And there's actually a drum controller you can buy for it if you want to actually do it. Yes. So I am interested as well to buy the controller to see how that would play. My friend Mike bought the controller. He said it's fun. So and it's currently on sale for $10, down from 40. So
wow.
Yeah, so that's what. Yeah, okay. So that's why I grabbed it. I was like, okay, 75% off. I'll take it.
Oh yeah, here you go. Golden Week. I'm checking it out right now.
Yeah, so there's a Golden Week sale on Sony. So check that out. There's a bunch of other stuff on sale. I grabbed this one because I played it. It's a lot of fun. It also has DLC, so you can buy more songs. Granted, it gets pricey. It's like $1.50 per song. Oofa. So yeah, so very easy to get out of control there.
Yeah. Are they real songs?
I'm pretty sure they're real songs in Japan.
Fair enough.
There's only one song on there that I know. That's like, at least that I haven't played a lot of it yet. So, but of all of the songs on there, the one song that's on there, and I have no idea how they managed to get this one song, Let It Go from Frozen is on there. And I don't know why.
Because Disney likes making that money.
And it's in Japanese. So that's
okay. Interesting. I think you need to send me a link on that one. I can't find it.
Yeah, it's in the base game. So
okay. Oh, okay. I got
yeah. So if you buy the game, you get that song.
Gotcha. No, I mean I try to find the game itself, but
Taiko no Tatsujin.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll send that to you later.
All right, cool. Actually, to be fair, I bought a new game for an old system.
What'd you buy?
No, because I'm loving. I discovered, we talked about it last week. That game Dedius on the Game Boy.
Oh yes.
And I some other games that I picked up that I talked about in the past that showed up. I'm getting one of the Kickstarters. I forgot which one it was, but one of them is going to be shipping, which is a physical Genesis card. I just love the fact now, and we'll call them homebrews. But they're not just simple game like these. They're making full games. It's a game called Genesis for the Game Boy.
Interesting.
It's just a straight up 8-bit shoot 'em up.
Okay.
Developed by 7FH, and it's actually from the same company that I guess published. I always forget published, distributor, developer. By the same company that did Dedius, Spacebot Dash Interactive. I believe it ships this September, but it's just cool to see these new games on old systems. So
yeah, but admit it. Did you buy the game because it's called Genesis and it's on a Game Boy?
Yes. I would rather not reveal all of my sources.
Okay, that's a yes. Moving on.
I did think it was like some new Genesis. Oh, that just reminded me. I'm sorry.
Oh wow. Ooh.
No.
I think your brain exploded.
Almost. We're going to move on. I'll mention it in the news, but a friend of mine sent me a link. I didn't even know I was aware that someone made, again, we'll call it like a clone system, but for a really old system. So I'm going to look into it. We're going to move on for now, but we'll come back to during the news.
All right, cool. Let's move on because we actually have a topic of discussion.
We do.
We do. Everybody knows that about a little over a week ago, and well, now it's about a week and a half ago, we got a new video game-based movie on HBO Max.
Yes.
And in theaters, of course.
Of course.
And we are talking about Mortal Kombat. I'm not going to scream Mortal Kombat because I can't do it the way that guy does.
Mortal Kombat!
That was terrible. That was even worse. So we got a Mortal Kombat movie, a new Mortal Kombat movie, and Larry, I assume you've watched it now?
Yes. Could we have watched it together on HBO Max? Did they have like a link up?
I think my cat just fell out of the window.
Uh-oh. That's not...
I just heard a loud thump.
Well, there's a lot of light that just came into the room.
Yeah.
Is he playing with the curtain?
No, I'm not sure what's going on. But anyway.
You have a third cat you don't know about?
Yeah, probably. Anyway, so Mortal Kombat released about a week and a half ago. Larry and I have both seen it. Mm-hmm. And Larry, so top of the just overall thoughts.
Okay, overall thoughts. I liked it. Just right off the bat, I liked it. It in this new era of like, theater at home. Mm-hmm. It was very convenient to be able to watch Mortal Kombat. Mm-hmm. Just pull it up and hit play. Going into this, watching the trailer, which was a very violent trailer, I was like, ooh, this is going to be an interesting movie because the game is violent. The game was always based on that. Like, that's what lured people to the game. Mm-hmm. And now we got like this violent version of Mortal Kombat. And that's no knock on the first two. Well, maybe the second one. But, it's no knock on the originals. But, and walking into this, I got to admit, walking into Mortal Kombat, sitting into Mortal Kombat, I went in the same way I went into Godzilla versus Kong, which I absolutely loved. But I went into Godzilla versus Kong going, this is a movie about two giant animals fighting each other. So, in other words, whatever happens, just accept it. You know what I mean? Right. It is what it is, and that's what made Godzilla versus Kong amazing. Same with Mortal Kombat. Like I went into the movie, and I'm like, okay, they're trying to base it in reality in some way, with the Mortal Kombat lore, of course. Mm-hmm. And then going into it, kind of just letting it go, letting it play out. At points, it felt like the game. And for me, a movie based on the game has to have points where it feels like the game. And to me, this one felt like the game. As far as like the acting quality, I never really go into a movie looking for an acting quality, so I can't tell you if it's good or bad. But as a fun ride, I had a blast, and I loved the characters that they used. It was nice to see them on the big screen.
Okay. That's a fair assessment. I also enjoyed it. And again, this is one of those movies where it's like, I have to turn the inner critic off.
I always know this is harder for you. Yeah.
Because you know how it is with me.
Yep.
It's like, I need to know that this is, I have a category for brainless fun. And that's what this was. And that's what this was. It's like turn off the critic. You're definitely not watching something of Oscar caliber here. Mm-hmm. You're just in here for the fun. And to be honest with you, I mean, for that part of it, I thought it was really good. Again, to your point, it's like you're going into this looking for that video game like feel. You definitely have that there. The plot is incredibly simple. There's really not much to it whatsoever. I thought the lead was really good. I liked Cole Young. I thought that character worked really well. What was interesting to me about the whole thing too is that I think they kind of went for they went with the plot of the original game, right?
They did.
It's a tournament type of thing, and Shang Tsung's trying to cheat and all that stuff. But I also feel like they tried diving into the newer Mortal Kombat games, which are like really more story based.
Okay, I can see that.
Like when Mortal Kombat relaunched on like PS3, like remember all of a sudden we went from the trilogy to 4, and then all of a sudden we got Mortal Kombat.
Which technically I think was 9. Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I think it was 9. And then they actually turned it into like a bigger story. And I feel like they were trying to pull from that a little bit, because it's definitely more of like, there's this war going on between Outworld and Earth and the heroes and stuff like that. Because even though they talk about, oh, this is going to be a tournament, and if they win the 10th tournament, they take over Earth, there was never really a tournament that happened.
True.
It was just, you know, a bunch of fights that broke out here and there, but there was never like, cause you know, like in the original movie, it was all about a tournament. This one, they mention it, but they don't really do it. So that part kind of bugged me.
Okay.
Because it's like, don't even bring it up if you're not going to use it, type of thing. But overall, like I thought, you know, again, I just thought it was mindless, but I did like the choice of focusing on Scorpion and Sub-Zero to start, because they are the two most popular characters, or two of the most popular characters in the franchise. And not only that, the two with the most history when you look into the story. So I liked that they started with that, and I liked that that was a through line. I thought that was probably the strongest part of the film, was the through line between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and obviously Scorpion's lineage. I think if they would have focused on that just a little bit more, it could have been stronger.
Okay,
but that's just me. Again, those are like the little things. I also like the fact that Liu Kang was not the lead this time around.
Yeah, no, I wanted to ask you about that. The lead in this movie, his character's name is Cole Young, a completely original character for the game series, which now leads me to believe he's going to be DLC down the road.
Oh yeah,
but
oh yeah.
What were your thoughts on that? Because when I first realized that he was a DLC, when I first realized
original character,
that you pay more money to watch the movie and he's magically in the movie, an original character, I'm like, okay, that's an out to do a completely original storyline. But they were able to stick to, like you said, to the Mortal Kombat storyline to a point. But what were your thoughts about them bringing in an original character to an established company, established IP like Mortal Kombat?
That didn't bother me at all, because what I thought about it was, first off, they connected him to the lineage by making him
spoiler alerts, I guess we'll say at this
point.
Yeah,
spoilers. Yes. So yeah, they connected him to the Mortal Kombat franchise because, you know, he is Scorpion's, you know, bloodline. Great. Whatever it is. Yeah, lots of greats. So that part didn't bother me at all, especially because everybody else in the movie is an established character from the franchise. So I just think they surrounded him with a cast that you knew. So I thought that worked well. And I also thought it gave them a bit more creative freedom to kind of build him the way they wanted to, as opposed to like, if it was the real Scorpion from the game, it's like, you kind of already know who he is. So now that you're introducing this new character, it's like, what is he going to become? Like, what kind of fighter is he going to be? And what type of special abilities is he going to learn as he develops? So I liked that, because for that reason, it's like you get a little more freedom to play with him.
Speaking of special abilities, almost like the fatalities kind of sort of, part of the movie is them having to trying to find their special abilities, which kind of at some points just happen automatically.
Well, get it right. It's their Arcana.
That's true. Yeah. Like with Kano, like he's just, just getting all riled up and mad. And all of a sudden, boom, the eye shoots out, the laser. At first I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird, because Kano, I think in the game, that was like a prosthetic. When I say prosthetic in the game, meaning like it was installed into him. Where here it was like it was in his core,
tech, basically.
Tech. That's what it was. Yeah. But I thought that was kind of interesting the way that was, until Cole Young morphed into the Gold Ranger.
Yes. Look, you know what? Just cross promotion.
This is true. I was waiting. There was Tommy to come out.
There was a Power Ranger in the cast, by the way.
Yes, there was, right? From the newer Power Rangers.
From the newer Power Ranger, Ludi Lin, who played Liu Kang, was in the Power Rangers.
That's right.
Crossover.
What's the matter?
Crossover.
Oh yeah. That'd be an awesome crossover.
One day he just walks on set as the Blue Ranger. And he's like, "Oh wait, no, wrong movie. Sorry."
Hey guys.
Or was he the No, he might have been the Black Ranger in the movie. Sorry.
It's like when Spider-Man, remember that deleted scene from the first X-Men movie when Spider-Man shows up?
Yes. That would just be it. He just comes on set. He's like, all right, I'm ready. Oh, awkward.
The opening of the movie, I gotta say, my favorite part of the movie, though, was the opening.
Yeah.
Was that the scene in the beginning where we see, before they're Scorpion and Sub-Zero, Hanzo Hasashi, thank you, and Bihan, Scorpion, Sub-Zero accordingly. And it was all in Japanese.
Yep. Japanese and Mandarin.
I was just gonna say I like that twist to it, where like Sub-Zero would come in, but he'd be talking Mandarin, and Scorpion. Like if they didn't have the subtitles, because I can't tell the difference between Mandarin and Japanese, at least the way that they were talking. So like I thought it was very interesting when I read underneath. It's like, oh, now he's speaking in Chinese. I'm like, oh, that's
Mandarin?
pretty cool. Well, no, it said Chinese on the bottom.
Oh, did it say?
Yeah. I mean, it might still be Mandarin. I don't know. But in any event, just the fact that like even back then, like you have these two characters who still can't communicate with each other, but still have this. Well, they kind of can because Sub-Zero is bilingual. But
Yes.
the hatred between the two families and everything was deep rooted. But that whole scene in the snow and everything, and again the violence kicks off early, and I thought it was wonderfully done, and it made me feel like this is a Mortal Kombat movie, unlike the original movie, which when you go back and watch, very campy. I get it, but it's fun. It's the first movie is fantastic.
Yes,
but I don't think there was any blood in it, or at least very little blood, if I
limited,
remember.
Limited, if any,
or at least it wasn't gory.
No,
you know what I mean?
Was not,
Here,
it definitely was not gory.
I mean, like even when Scorpion's getting killed, the way he's just pushing in like the knife and everything. I just thought overall the beginning of the movie was fantastic. And then I was getting a little weary in the middle. I was like, all right, where are they going? Walking through the desert and stuff like that.
Yes.
But overall, my favorite character was Kano. And the world is loving Josh Lawson and his version of Kano.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of fun. I thought he had a blast with it. I liked the gray area he played. I liked the fact that they did not stick to the game biography of him, where in the game he killed Sonya's partner, and Sonya's got this blood feud with him and stuff like. I like the fact that they didn't go there because it gave them room to kind of build the relationships. So I thought that was really fun. And to your point, like he just had a blast with it.
I saw a meme. It was a meme like breaking news. Josh Lawson rushed to the hospital for a broken back for carrying the Mortal Kombat movie.
and he kind of did. He did a really good job. Well, no, I will say I can't remember the actor who played Cole Young.
Louis Tan.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job.
Oh, I thought he was great too.
Yeah.
It's just all these Aussies, these Australians coming up just by having all they have to do is just spat off a couple of curse words and people love what they say.
It's true.
It's like Ozzy Man reviews.
No, it's true. He was just really good. I mean, he kind of went into the character and
everyone played their characters great. The only part that bugged me, and this is when what were they called again? Their inner powers, their fatalities.
Akana.
When the Akana started coming up, when Jax all of a sudden started morphing in his arms, like just got like at first it was very skinny and just bone like, almost like T800s. Yes. And then all of a sudden they became like all jacked up like he is in the game. I was like, all right, that one's a little weird, but I thought the rest of it was pretty cool.
It's a lot better than Jackson Mortal Kombat Annihilation, who just had them added to his arms and ripped them off at the end because I don't need them.
You're right. You're right. And he still had his regular arms.
I'm like, no, in this movie, he definitely needed those.
He definitely lost it. What are your ideas on the choice of the character? I mean, you have your base characters, obviously, but yes. I enjoyed seeing like Rico, like, oh my God, I forgot his name. Who was the one in the mask, the full mask?
Cabal,
excuse me. Yeah. Seeing them, like some of the ones that we really haven't seen in any of the other movies. What are your thoughts on the character selections.
Well, that was that was why I thought they were going with the more newer one, because if you look at the newer ones, like the newer Mortal Kombat, like 9, it's a lot about it. There's a lot of like, it's like an army and you have your generals. So they kind of took that from the newer Mortal Kombats, because I forget the general's name that was one of the bad guys. It was
that was with the big giant sledgehammer?
Yes.
That was Rico.
Okay.
Nathan Jones.
Was that Nathan Jones?
That was Nathan Jones.
I couldn't even tell that was Nathan Jones. Okay. So then you had Rico, and Melina also is one of his in the game. Like she's one of the generals that runs the army. So I didn't mind the choices they made. Cabal was the weird one to me. I don't know why. He just seemed to be there.
Agreed.
Like Melina and Rico to me were the generals, and you saw them act that way. Cabal to me was just kind of like, okay, we need another bad guy because it needs to even out the good guy bad guy ratio.
Well, that's when Kano came in,
right? But that was the only one that made me like say, okay, Cabal, not so sure about, but it didn't bother me. You know what I mean? It was just nice that they used people from the game, and it gave me a minute. I stopped for a minute at one point too in my brain to say, did they use everybody from the first Mortal Kombat? And the obvious answer to that is no. There's one very notable omission. So
we'll get to that in a moment. Yeah. See, I thought, and the weirdest character I thought, but I liked where they pulled her from, was Natara. She was the one that was flying around, and she came from Deadly Alliance.
Yep.
So, a game that I don't think Deadly Alliance was as hot, but cool nevertheless to see them pull a character from that game. So they were trying to get into, I think, a little bit of everything.
Well, I also
like you said.
Yeah, and I also think that they pulled that character too because they were probably looking for someone expendable, and they didn't want to waste a really good character.
She had a good ending too.
Oh, she totally did. She really did.
What are your thoughts? Again, I get a kick out of these. I said it during years ago when we did our Power Ranger crossover review with Victims and Villains, that like, as much as I hated the rebooted Power Rangers movie, the part that I loved is when you heard the Go Go Power Rangers theme song.
Yeah, and I remember that because that's when the movie took a nosedive for me.
In this one, I love just those little nuances, like flawless victory, or like when they just, those little things from the game that like have nothing to do are corny in a movie unto itself, and I'm like, boom, there you go.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like you kind of have to just be forgiving of it because you want to hear it, but you know what it is, you want to hear it because you hear it in the game, right?
That's exactly why I wanted to hear it.
No. But like for me, when I'm watching a movie and I hear it, and I'm like, yeah, that just doesn't work in real life. It's like, fatality. Okay.
I believe since the pandemic started, correct me if I'm wrong, this is like the highest grossing R-rated movie or opening or something. Now, granted, I mean, no one's going to the theater, so it's not saying a lot.
I believe you are correct.
It hits something. I mean, it grossed so far a little over 23 million. That was in the US. Worldwide, 51 million. Now, I don't know I don't know how they're going to factor in people watching on HBO Max to say if this is a successful movie or not. You know what I mean? Because we're in a new era with this stuff. But the movie's getting a lot of praise.
Yep.
Which is, I'm happy to hear. Let me ask you this. Let's kind of bring it into the real world for a moment. And I don't know if you have, I always defer to you because you're in that Hollywood world, kind of, sort of. Did this movie kind of show the fact that they were making it during a pandemic? I feel like the sets were very limited as far as like they could have traveled more.
They definitely could have. But I also think that, films were trying to, like, they were doing everything that they could, like with testing and stuff like that to make sure that they could keep in production. But yeah, I can definitely see that. You can see the minimalism in it. So,
which I'm not complaining about. Don't get me wrong. No. I just like to see something like that because I don't even know. This might have started production after pandemic. I don't know about that part.
Well, that's the other thing too. It's entirely possible that they filmed it before the pandemic was full on.
Oh, okay.
It all depends. Yeah, it all depends. Like, let me IMDb that really quickly.
I'm there right now. I just don't know where to really look for it. But with the like I was because one of the cool parts also like when they were like, well, we're gonna fight, but we're gonna send people to random spots, which is their way of
Right.
saying here are different levels. And like the only one I noticed was the pit level, like they were fighting above the pit, and
Yes, that was cool.
and I was begging for someone to say toasty. I was waiting for that whole time because they kept mentioning an uppercut.
Yes.
They kept talking about the uppercut. But nevertheless, I feel like, and again, not taking away from it, but I think, and Anthony will correct me if he sees it. I think they could have done more locales, but due to pandemic situations, yeah, they had to work with what they were given, and I still think it worked out. I mean, I like those type of movies too sometimes.
Yeah.
A movie that feels like it's running on a low budget, because then you have to be more imaginative to get the story across.
The filming actually happened pre-pandemic.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it was September to December 2019.
Oh, all right. Never mind.
And it was shot in South Australia. So
Yes.
there's your Josh Lawson.
Fair enough.
Video.
Actually, I think Sonia Blade. I think she's Australian too. Jessica
Might be
McNamee.
But but the whole idea is like it was pre-pandemic, so
okay, so
everything in there was intentional.
Fair enough.
And I think the other reason why I thought it was okay is that it's the first film. They are planning it for more. So keep it small. You know, I think video game movies always run the risk of overkill when they want to add too much. So, you know, I think like, again, the Mortal Kombat sequel, the Street Fighter movie, it's like it's like everywhere you turn, there's a new character. And it's like, I can't get vested in so many people, so many characters. So I like the fact that they kept it small. I think that it'll get bigger in the sequel because, again, if they're going with the storyline from the newer Mortal Kombat movies, this basically becomes a war between Outworld and Earth. So like armies come in and stuff like that. You got so I think we're going to be seeing more of that as we move on. So I like the fact that they kind of grounded it a bit with, minimal, smaller locations, smaller cast type of stuff.
Two more quick questions. I just want to hear your thoughts. First of all, I felt like when the game first came out, I'm talking originally, Mortal Kombat came out, I kind of felt like Sub-Zero was more beloved and Scorpion was the bad guy. But as of late, and I even saw this in there's an animated Mortal Kombat movie that came out like a year ago, Scorpion's Revenge, that is phenomenal. Check that out. Which kind of has almost the same story like between Sub-Zero and Scorpion. I feel like as much as Sub-Zero was good, Scorpion was bad. As of late, those flip-flopped because Sub-Zero is basically the bad guy in this, and Scorpion is kind of like the anti-hero, I guess you can see, or a hero. Totally. Right. Did you see that? Because I felt that. I'm like, why are they flipping? Like, kind of.
Okay, so in the original game, I think Sub-Zero was so beloved because he was the coolest character to play, pun intended.
Yeah.
No. I just think everybody really enjoyed playing as him more than the other characters. That was the reason why. In terms of their story back then, all we knew about them, I think, back then was they were two dueling clans, right? I forget one of them. One is Lin Kuei and the other one is another clan. So that's all we really knew about them. And again, at the time, they were under the thrall of Shang Tsung. Like they were his, minions or whatever. In the sequel, Mortal Kombat 2, we get introduced to a different Sub-Zero who is a good guy. And they actually used him in the movie in Annihilation. He had one scene in one fight, remember?
Yeah. Yep.
Right. And he was a good guy. So there was another version of Sub-Zero who was a good guy.
Okay.
But then as the games came on, moved on and they started to dive into the mythology and the story and all that stuff, it did turn out that Scorpion was the one who was wronged by Sub-Zero.
Gotcha.
So, and that's why he became the hero. But yeah, it's that type of thing where it just, as the story progressed, and again, this is a game, there have been so many Mortal Kombat games. It's like, how do you keep the story straight? It's just, it morphed, it slowly changed into that as we learned more about their past.
Gotcha. And a quick shout out, speaking of Sub-Zero, to the actor, Joe Taslim, who before I saw the movie, I read an article that, and his fighting style, his fighting scenes were beautiful in this movie, that people, like the director and the fighting choreographer and everything, compared him to Bruce Lee. He said this guy is almost as good as Bruce Lee was.
Wow.
Where like Joe was moving so fast that they were like, dude, you have to slow down so we can catch you on camera.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome.
He's getting major praise as far as his fighting skills are concerned. And his acting was good too. But yeah, give a shout out to him. My last question to you is, if you could replace, and this is no knock on any of the actors in this new movie, if you could replace any of the actors from the original Mortal Kombat movie, put them into this one using their same character.
Oh no.
See, for me, I loved the original Shang Tsung.
I think that's where I would go to. I mean, the original Shang Tsung he was corny. He was corny as hell. But there was something about him. I felt like he had more presence. But I also felt like he embodied the character well, which worked better for me. At the same time, the new Shang Tsung, they didn't really give him a whole lot to do.
True.
And that's part of the problem too. Like in the original movie, because we're so focused on the tournament, like Shang Tsung is the lead villain. And we know he's the lead villain because he's in almost every scene when you see the villains, and he's the one telling us what's going on, and he's the one presiding over the tournament. Whereas Shang Tsung in the new movie, he's the guy in charge, which is the reason why you don't really see much, but they take the stand up. You don't see much of him because his minions are the ones doing all the work.
Exactly. And it's funny, I saw a meme. They were like, the original Shang Tsung is what you want to order. The newest Shang Tsung is what you get from Wish.
Yes, I saw that. It's like Amazon, Wish.
Close second replacement, Sonya Blade. I got a thing for Bridget Wilson. She was wonderful in the mid-90s.
Well, no, I take a mid-90s Bridget Wilson any day of the week. Thank you very much.
All right, so bottom line, Mortal Kombat, worth the watch.
I think it's worth the watch for sure.
All right, cool.
I think it's worth the watch, especially if you're a fan of the games. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, don't go into it expecting, grand cinema. You're gonna have fun for an hour and a half.
Yep.
And and then you move on with your life.
There we go. And I think that's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna move on right now to some news.
Yes.
And get ready to wrap this up.
Oh, before we do that,
yeah.
we missed one little thing. And not so little. What were your thoughts on Goro?
I prefer original claymation, stop motion animation they use in the original movie as opposed to CGI. I didn't mind Goro other than the fact that he was kind of used as a throwaway.
Yes. That was my feeling too. I thought they kind of just tossed him.
That was the only thing that bugged me. That was really it. I liked him once he was on there. I liked the fighting scenes that he had. I liked that whole scenario, with Cole defending his family and stuff like that from this giant monster. But at the same time, they could have definitely used him more.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny in a way where the ancient Mortal Kombat champion who has won 9 tournaments, right? Because Goro is the champion, 9 tournament champion, gets beaten by Cole and his wife and daughter.
Yeah, before he can drag out the Dragon Sword. So.
Yes, exactly. Before he can try. Well, he couldn't find the flute.
Did the gold one have a flute? I don't remember.
I don't know.
But yeah, they could have used him more. But we'll see. Maybe we'll get, because we got Goro in the first movie. Maybe what the hell was his name in the second one?
That could have who, the actor? Or?
No. The champion in the second game.
Oh, Kintaro.
Yes. So maybe we'll see him next
potentially.
movie.
But I also think maybe the reason why we didn't see a lot of him was also budget.
True. This is true.
CGI is expensive.
You're right. So, but they did good with it. Don't get me wrong. He looked good.
They did well. Yeah,
is what it is. All right.
And so, now let's move on.
Let's move on to some news. And I found the thing I was talking about. So let's start with that first. I mean, right now it's out of stock. Thank God, because I need a break.
Yeah,
but
I have some news as well. We can share.
I just learned that there's a company
with a T
that is working with Acclaim. It's called Collector Vision Games, and they put out their own ColecoVision Phoenix.
Ooh.
It's called the Collector Vision Phoenix video game system.
Did you buy it yet?
No, it's out of stock, and I don't know if they're going to be running. They've already done two runs of it. I don't know if there's going to be a third one. It's $200.
Okay.
It's it run, and from what I'm reading, and what I'm learning, when you see FPGA, which I still don't know what that means, that basically means no emulation. It's running off carts.
Got it.
And this thing will run off carts. It will play every ColecoVision game that's out there. And it's a smaller unit. It outputs HDMI. Granted, it's like 420, but it will. I mean 480. No, 420. Wait, what the hell was it? 420 or 480?
480.
It's been forever, right?
Yeah. Well, we don't go that low anymore.
No, exactly. But this does through HDMI, so it's a waste. But nevertheless, it uses the original controllers and everything like that. I just discovered it too late, but if they ever do another run, I'm going to keep an eye out on this. And I'll definitely let everyone know, because I'm hearing this thing is great for people who already have it. Again, it's called CollectorVision Phoenix.
Okay.
And it's 100% compatible with all ColecoVision games. And I think that's really cool.
Very cool. It sounds very cool.
So, and it's very tiny, which works out well because I'm running out of room rapidly.
I have no room.
So, all right, Ant, what news do you have?
News. I have lots of news. Do I have news? I don't know.
Weird news.
Not weird news necessarily. Oh, by the way, no, I already talked to you about that. Okay, so one quick shout out. We have a retro birthday. Maybe not the most monumental retro birthday, but
they are all monumental in our hearts.
A retro birthday nonetheless. So on May 6, 2001, 20 years ago, we were graced on the Nintendo 64 with Mario Party 3.
Ooh, okay.
The last Mario Party on the N64. It was kind of at the end of the N64 cycle, which is also why Mario Party 3 is one of the rarer games to find on the N64. And I am very grateful that I have it.
I don't know if I have it.
I definitely have it because we played the Mario Party games like crazy.
We did.
Yeah,
we absolutely
really did.
Oh, hey, fun update. Speaking of which, Super Mario Party on the Switch
is now online.
Like the full board game version is now online.
So yes. So we're going to have to play.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely need to
because I still have to unlock a lot of stuff in that game.
Oh, I think I've unlocked most of the stuff in that game. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, bottom line is, Mario Party Online. Another quick thing for new news, Pokemon Snap is now officially available. The new Pokemon Snap is available on the Switch. There was a Sony State of Play last week also, just to touch on.
Was there?
There was.
I honestly didn't even know that.
Yeah, a few days ago. It focused mostly on Ratchet and Clank, and Ratchet and Clank for the PS5 looks insane. Let's just say that.
And it's like one of the first like PS5 exclusive games that are coming out, right?
Yeah, and when you see it, it's definitely worth the purchase. I've never played a Ratchet and Clank game, but I want this one. There's no about that.
No, it does look really cool.
Yeah, so take a look for that. A few other things. The trailer for the 4th and final season of Castlevania dropped on Thursday.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. I gotta watch
so definitely take a look at that. Again, this is the final season. They're wrapping up the story here. There are talks about a prequel series coming out, although they have not said who's going to be in that prequel. So very curious to see what happens with that. But definitely, a spin-off series. That's all.
Spin-off.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Netflix has plans for a spin-off series, same universe, new cast.
Okay.
So, hello, Simon Belmont. I want to see Simon. We've seen Trevor now, which is great. I want to see Simon Belmont because he's the original.
Of course. The OG.
The OG. Gotta go with the OG. All right. So, take a look out for that.
Will do.
A very, very, very random thing that I found, which is kind of funny. So, the Earthbound series.
Okay.
Now, the first two, they made American ports of them. But the third one, which was made on the Game Boy Advance in 2001, I'm sorry, not 2006, 15 years ago, they never converted it from the Japanese version to the American version.
No, they have not, no.
Now, recently, there have been rumors saying that they were going to do it. The game is called Mother in Japan, so this would be Mother 3. So there's never been an English copy of this game. They've never translated it. So a celebrity... who I had no idea was a gamer, Terry Crews came out.
Really?
And is pushing for Nintendo to translate Mother 3 into English so that he can play it.
Oh.
So
okay.
So
Do we tell him that there are some fan-made English translations?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
No. We look, you know what? Somebody with the power behind him, like Terry Crews, can actually get this to happen. So let's just let him do his thing.
Probably.
Yeah, let him. Yeah, you go get them, Terry Crews. You get Nintendo.
Awesome. All righty.
I loved his moment in Deadpool.
Yes, that's right. I forgot Deadpool 2. Yes.
Deadpool 2. That was so great.
Him and Brad Pitt.
Him and Brad Pitt were awesome. Yep. Okay. I have a couple more bits of news.
Yeah, sure.
And then we'll wrap this up. Sega has announced, has decided starting this summer, they will be getting into the NFT craze.
Can you please explain to me what the hell is an NFT? I cannot find anything that describes it.
Okay. I'm going to read what it says in this article because it's easier that way. And then I'll explain it in layman's terms.
I just know it's a weird name. Non-fungible token.
NFTs are non-fungible tokens. Okay.
Fungible.
Yes. A non-fungible token is a unit of data stored on a digital ledger called a blockchain that certifies a digital asset to be unique and therefore not interchangeable. NFTs can be used to represent items such as photos, videos, audio, and other types of digital files.
Oh,
I got
that doesn't help me. Okay.
So here's the thing. All right, blockchains are basically what cryptocurrency uses. It's the reason. So like if you think of Bitcoin, right? Mm-hmm. The way Bitcoin mining works is that you're literally using your computer to mine for these unique blockchains of data. When you unearth these, that's how you start to unearth Bitcoin, which is why, and because there's only a limited amount, it's why it's so
expensive.
It's worth so much and it's expensive. Now with non-fungible tokens, what they're basically doing is they're taking a digital asset, let's say like a JPEG. Mm-hmm. Here's a JPEG of Sonic the Hedgehog from Sonic 1.
Okay.
They give it a unique blockchain. So it's a unique like the way like
wait a minute.
The way like Nintendo used to stamp their boxes with a stamp of approval, okay, perfect. You have a pop vinyl in your hand that maybe is one of 200.
That's what I was going to use as an example. So I just grabbed this Trish Stratus one. But it says Larry Trish Stratus, right? So instead of having this physical piece, if I had an NFT, this would be like stored on the NFT.
Correct.
In theory.
So the Sonic image that I'm talking about has basically a code on it that makes it one of only a handful.
Gotcha.
And you legally own the rights to that specific JPEG. It's yours. And it's only held by a certain number of people. Now, NFTs that are cheap usually can be owned by a large number of people. Mm-hmm. Like a number of people can buy the same image.
Okay, I gotcha.
But other NFTs, which are going to be rare, maybe only a handful of people can buy them. Mm-hmm. That's why they're worth a lot more money. Mm-hmm. Me personally, it's weird because a lot of people ask, it's like, why would I want to own a digital asset when
I guess that makes sense.
Why would I want to own a digital asset when I can just download a JPEG myself?
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like because of the blockchain, it has value to it. It has monetary value. And that's the only difference between that and a JPEG on. So it's just another way for them to put value to something. So the NBA has actually been making money, like tons of money off of this. They have a site called a thing called Top Shot.
Okay.
And what it is you buy digital packs of assets, and those assets are NFTs, and depending on the rarity of them, they can go for a lot of money. So
yeah, I've seen these things go for a lot of money.
Some of them go for like $200,000 or $300,000.
Yeah, it's ridiculous
because they're so rare. Mm-hmm. Like your ownership of them is so rare. Like only like 2 people can own this one slam dunk clip of LeBron James, and you own it. Mm-hmm. And the reason why the NBA has been able to do this and make money off of it, by the way, is because they don't post their stuff online necessarily. Mm-hmm. So a lot of companies are trying to figure out ways like, how can we make this a business? Now, do I agree with said business? I think there are better things to spend your money on. than a digital asset, to be honest with you. But it's a fad, it's a craze, whatever it is. It's getting very popular. So now Sega is getting involved in it.
All right, fair enough. It's almost like gone are the days where you go to a art gallery and pick up a Mona Lisa, where now the Mona Lisa is right here.
Yeah,
you know
basically.
What I mean? So,
no, it's an image on screen. Like, see, like we can take our episode and make an NFT out of it.
Do you think we could really sell this for $100, let alone $1?
No. We'd have to pay. No. Our NFT is we'd have to pay somebody $100 to take it. We're going to invent reverse NFTs.
There you go. I'm in. It's like the Wolf of Wall Street.
Exactly. And then the last bit of news I'm going to share is this is something that I think you may actually be interested in getting, but you're going to have to break your code because Limited Run Games, the best company in the world, Larry's favorite put your headset back on and listen to this. See how he already knows he has to put his headset back on. I told you to do that.
I'm a consummate professional, goddammit.
Yeah, exactly. From the number of times you've bashed these people.
Oh, they deserve it.
Limited Run Games have revealed 4 Castlevania Anniversary Collection physical editions.
I saw this.
Yep.
It makes me sick to my stomach.
Yep. So the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, which you can download digitally, which I already own, but the physical collection, I have to say, looks really sweet. It's for the PlayStation, the PS4, and the Switch. You can get the standard edition for $35. It's just in the standard PS4 or Switch casing. You can get the classic edition, which includes a copy of the game, the original soundtrack on CD, a reversible poster, and a retro-style dust sleeve, an NES dust sleeve, all in a nostalgic box, which looks really cool, with metallic ink.
I'll give credit where credit is due. Like, they did amazing with their Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, this Castlevania one looks sweet. By the way, May 14th is when this stuff goes on sale.
All right. Yeah, one looks like an NES box. I think there's another one that looks like the Bloodlines box.
Yes, I was about to move on to that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
So now you have the Bloodlines edition, which includes everything I just said, but the Switch box is the Bloodlines box. And then there's the limited Ultimate Edition, which is $175. The Ultimate Edition has it all. A reversible poster with all new art from classic Konami cover artist Tom Dubois. A shadow box with lights and sound.
That's kind of cool. A
steel book. A collection of mini replica boxes of the Castlevania games.
Okay.
And it says, and more that we can't fit in one tweet. But if you look at if you look at it, it's like there are retro box art prints. There's the steel book, the miniature replica box collection of all 8 games that are in the collection. So you get 8 miniature replica boxes. You get the History of Castlevania Book of the Crescent Moon, the original soundtrack, the retro style dust sleeve, the deluxe clamshell and retro styled box with metallic ink, and a reversible poster on top of the shadow box. Literally, like it's
a lot of stuff.
A ton of stuff.
And a pin.
Again, and a pin. I'm sorry. I forgot the enamel pin. So Limited Run Games has definitely made something very, very cool here. And Larry, it's time to break the rule just this once. Just this once.
Folks, next time you're out shopping and the person in front of you has a cart full of stuff and they're ringing up as they speak, just reach into their cart and just grab whatever you want, because that's how Limited Run works. There's no, let's give you 5 minutes to check out. No, they just goes, it's a free-for-all. Enjoy whatever. By the way, they have a re-release of a Game Boy game called Starhawk that I did pre-order. Limited Run is terrible.
Always the professional, Larry.
And just it's sick to my stomach every time I have to deal with them.
So you're going to be signing on May 14th?
No, I already have the game.
Yeah, I know, but aren't you going to buy one of the special editions?
No, actually, I'll do what I did with the Star Wars ones. I'll have a friend of mine buy it, and I'll pay my friend more money to buy it off of him. So that way, Limited Run does not get my money other than this Game Boy game that I ordered.
This is why when I tell my friends stories about you, they're like, "What's wrong with him?" I'd be like,
"There's nothing." If anything, I stick to what I say.
You do realize that your friend buying an extra copy for you to buy from him is still giving Limited Run the money that you would have given them.
They're not getting my money, except for a Game Boy game that I just
no. Right,
they're
exactly.
not getting my money.
But they're getting your friend's money, who is in essence buying it, but he's buying it for you to purchase off him.
That's fine.
So no, it's one remove, but you're still giving Limited Run the money because your friend would not be buying 2 copies if you didn't want one.
To be fair, he bought extra copies to resell, so he was going to sell them again anyway.
Right, but now you're just going to look to him to buy them. So in essence, he's only buying it because of you.
He's not my Limited Run mule.
Yeah, apparently he is.
No, I only did it for that one time. But is what it is. I will call it like I see it. Those are really cool art pieces and the little boxes. I don't know who has a CD player anymore, so they need to go to digital downloads. But well, to be fair, we got like 12 of them just sitting right behind us.
I was just gonna say, here, pick your CD player. Not to mention my PC still has a CD-ROM.
So all right, well,
or DVD-ROM
is what it is. Oh, last thing to mention, because it was just announced, E3 is going to be coming this year. It's going to be all digital. No physical E3. But unfortunately, Konami will not be showing up.
I was about to say Konami is skipping it this year.
So hopefully we'll see Konami next year. But I think Konami would probably do their own thing.
That's okay because they've already got what they need this year, which is the Castlevania Anniversary Collection on Limited Run games.
There are so many other websites. All right. Well, in any event, let's start to wrap this up, shall we?
I think so.
Okay.
I think I've raised your ire enough.
Oh my God, my blood pressure is fantastic.
Can't wait to see you pre-order it on May 14th.
No, I got to order a ColecoVision.
I was just gonna say you already ordered something from them. You just said it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Play back the video.
Anyway,
where can they find us?
You guys can find us on Facebook.com/RetroGamersPodcast, on Instagram @RetroGamersPodcast, on Twitter @RetroGamersPod. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can watch us on YouTube and IGTV. You can also email us at email@theretrogamers.com.
Yes. And definitely hit us up on social media. We interact. We love hearing from you guys. Oh, you know what? I told them I was going to do this. I'm sorry we're going long, but I made a promise and I'm going to stick to it. And God help me if I can remember the guy's name. So let me try and pull it up. There's a thing on Kickstarter.
You always got a Kickstarter to talk about.
Well, this one actually I saw, but someone reached out to us. It's in our messages. And let me see if I can find it here. Yeah. So let me, you know what, Ant? I'm going to tell you right now, we might just have to do a quick, I want to find this thing.
That's fine.
So just bear with me here. Okay. Found it. All right. First of all, we definitely want to give a shout out to our buddy here, Tim Bear Nixon on Facebook, giving us a heads up about this. I did catch my eye on it. It's 20 days to go as of the recording of this podcast. It's called Pie Packer, and it basically allows you to play. Oh, I thought only Super Nintendo, but it looks like there's adapters to it. Play old school games, multiplayer, online. Yes,
and I am very interested in this.
This thing looks really interesting.
And I honestly think we've been trying to find ways to game together and stream. This may be the way to go now.
No, totally. So just long story short, you plug it into your computer. I assume, I haven't read much into it, but I'm assuming all parties have to have the cartridge. And actually maybe not. No, maybe you can just dial in because everyone didn't need a cartridge back then.
No, I think it's just one person needs a cartridge.
Yeah. It plays NES games, Super Nintendo games, and it will play Mega Drive/Genesis games.
Yep.
As time goes on, they can unlock Game Boy games and stuff like that, and local multiplayer mode. As of this recording, they needed $75,000 to reach their goal. They have almost $143,000, 828 backers. Check it out. Actually, you can just go to piepacker.com, and then it will bring you to the Kickstarter. And this might be the way to go.
Yeah, I think so. I think we should definitely look at getting it.
Yeah, just real quick, just to users create account, play multiplayer retro games online, no installation required, directly playing in your Chrome browser.
It is membership based, by the way.
Okay, fair enough. Does it say how much a month?
No.
Okay, no problem. There are 60 plus licensed retro games pre-installed and ready to play. So there's going to be games in it already, which is good.
Yes.
And then, of course, you can bring your own games digitally for premium members or physically, thanks to their
Proprietary
cartridge reader, the Pi Reader. So, yeah, no, this thing looks really interesting. As far as backing it, I think to get the physical system,
it's $100.
All right, that's not, you know what? That's actually not bad at all.
No, because when you think about all the other pieces that we've bought, like they usually run more than that.
Exactly.
So,
So,
what I love though are their levels, because you go from $100 to 180 to 1,500.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
Very big jump.
All right, fair enough. So this is now for me, Tim, as you're probably aware, I almost do every Kickstarter that comes across my desk.
Yes.
But it sounds like if Ant backs a Kickstarter, then it's something special.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave this up on my screen and do a deeper dive, but because this may be the one to buy. Because I mean, like I said, we've struggled for a while now to do streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Like we wanted to stream like where we're actually playing the same game together as opposed to other stuff.
Yeah.
And this may be the answer for us.
This very well might be the answer.
So
all right, so we'll keep an eye out on it. We got about 1 or 2 more episodes before it finishes, so we'll see where that goes.
Yes.
All right, we had a little bit of an extra long episode, but I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Tim, thank you very much for the recommendation.
Yes, thank you, Tim.
And with that, Ant, have a wonderful week.
You have a great week as well, sir.
And we will catch you everywhere next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.